This is a mistake that every midterm rental operator is most likely making when leveraging Airbnb for midterm stays. And after you watch this video, I trust that you will not be the one to make that mistake again. My name is Ruben. I'm a temporary housing specialist where we help investors nationwide turn their quarterly rental income into their monthly income by specifically working and optimizing for longer profitable stays with insurance companies. Now, if you are a midterm rental operator, number one mistake you can make is say, hey, I'm actually not going to be on Airbnb because I don't like the Airbnb model and it's actually not for me. Mistake number one. But that's actually not the biggest mistake of them all, because I think most operators who are seasoned, if you're watching this, you're like, no, I'm sharp enough to know that I'm actually going to raise my minimum stays so that I can still leverage one of the most frequently visited platforms on the internet when it comes to short-term rental and some mid-term rental and what we call temporary housing stays overall. So you're probably not making that mistake if you're seasoned enough. However, one mistake that you are making is by not being available to leads, potential bookers from, again, in representing on behalf of the tenant. Sometimes it might be the displaced tenant, or sometimes it might be a relocation company. And the biggest thing you're not doing is making yourself available to them. And there's a special way how to do this. Now, if you've been following my channel and subscribed, and if you're not, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now, because all I do is I specialize in giving temporary housing insights, advice, as a nationwide temporary housing provider myself, who's worked with companies, the largest insurance companies and relocation specialists in the nation. And there's a specific thing that is causing you to leave a lot of money on the table, and I want to share with you. One of the things that I'm used to share is that my whole strategy that I'm known for is duplicating your listings. This was at a time when Airbnb used to actually let you duplicate your listing. They actually had a button for it where you could literally hit duplicate my listing, and all the photos, description, etc. would be duplicated, and that was great times. And then they took that away, right? As a matter of fact, they actually didn't want you to have anymore. And so what you can do, and what I would actually encourage you to do, is actually have a separate account. Now, the reason this is actually important is, being a real estate investor that I am, actually have bought properties with Airbnb accounts that came with it. I've sold properties with Airbnb accounts that either came with it. And one of the things I realized real quickly is that having an Airbnb profile, having been a co-host, having done arbitrage, having done on-demand leases, that profile in itself is an asset. And that asset is one that you should definitely be taking advantage of, because this is an asset that, in addition to your property, in addition to the contracts, can add on to the revenue that you can make on a transaction.
If you're currently getting value from watching this video, you'll want to make sure you take a second and click below to grab the midterm rental insurance blueprint to help accelerate your process in being able to land these midterm rental insurance contracts with respect to your marketplace. Make sure you click the button below and grab it, and continue on with the gems in this video.
And as someone who's been acquisitions, etc., see mergers and acquisitions at the corporate level very large, you want to make sure you're dividing your asset types, and there's a lot of different assets that you can bring to the table, and your Airbnb account is one of them. Now, that's not the sweetest spot. I'm saving the best for last here. While that is a digital asset that you can have that could allow you to then liquidate one property or even a business along with an Airbnb account, so it's not tied to your personal one, it's good to have a separate one for that reason. But that's not the best part. The best part is to have a separate account so you can actually always be open for business and always be open for inquiries. Because remember, Airbnb is a search engine platform, which means that if you're currently hosting someone now, but you have a duplicate account that has that same listing as well, that's wide open for the entire year, even 2 years if you will, and now you have it, you remove instant book. Now what you have is you've generated in other way that these companies can find you. And the reason that it's important that they can find you, because if, let's say, you're doing a hybrid approach and you are occupied on the STR listing, but you're probably going to be available the next 3 weeks or maybe the next week even, if they're looking specifically for that day and they search for the next 3 months, they may miss you. And that is not money that you want to miss, because the truth is, if a lot of these relocation companies who are relocating their displaced families due to a claim do have the family in a hotel or do have the family stay in their home until they find them an alternative. And if it means that finding an alternative solution means that it's not right today, but it's a week out, or a couple days out, they're able to actually do that because they're booking on behalf of the family, even on Airbnb. But they can only do that if they can find you. And so what's really critical is that you actually give yourself an opportunity. So what does that even look like? Let me share my screen so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. So in this specific property here, you're going to see that there is an inquiry from a company, CRS Temporary Housing. They're very well known, and you'll see this inquiry come in from a relocation specialist. If you've never watched a video about relocation specialists, feel free to look at my channel, type in search relocation specialist, who they are, what they do, what they're looking for. Essentially, this is a company that works on behalf of an insurance company that's looking to relocate a family. For right now, it's 36 nights, family of 2. Now, if you have a look here, you'll see that this is what they leverage called Airbnb for work, where the relocation specialist Cody is booking on behalf of, you can see they're the trip planner on behalf of this tenant here. And what you'll see, two different names, one is Alex the tenant, one is Cody, and then you'll see they're asking for all the fees up front. You can make amendments, etc. Now here's why this is key. This came on our duplicate account. We did have someone staying there until Sunday, but because this was always available, they were able to still pick it up. Now look at what we say. We literally say, "Hi Cody, thanks so much for reaching out. Yes, we work with CRS all the time and we'd be happy to host this family. Our home will be available on Monday. So if you could change your reservation to begin that afternoon, we'll go ahead and accept. Thanks so much." Look at what Cody does. Got it. Changes the request from July 11th to July 14th, 3 days after, right? So you can see that ended up working out in our favor, and you can see the amount there, 33 nights, 6,502. That's only because we had a duplicate account that would allow for this, right? So it's really important that we really understand how this actually works and why it works. It's because you have the ability to make adjustments and get them to actually tweak. So you can see that having a duplicate account was critical in us being able to get a booking that we would have never had we not had that account. That account is like an ad that says, "We are always open for business, and while you inquire us about specific dates, we'll tell you the exact dates that can work." This is critical. This is imperative for our business, and it will be imperative for your business. Take it from me when I say that this will open up a lot more lead generation for you and the ability for you to capture leads as they're being searched within your zip codes in marketplace. Now, if you want to further understand more the actual concept behind duplicating your listings, make sure you check out my video called "Why You're Missing Out If You Haven't Duplicated Your Listings Yet." Remember, with that note, the caveat is now duplicating an account for your duplicate listing.